Welcome to Stephen King Saturday. I know what we're doing for the next 8 weeks. Do you know what you're doing for the next 8 weeks? Bet you don't. We're going to be covering one episode per week of Nightmares and Dreamscapes. In fact, I just realized that we will be living in a new place by the time this is done. So the last episode won't even be recorded in this house.
That's cool.
Maybe even the last couple. So, episode 1, Battleground, starring William Hurt. He got really hurt in this movie, for sure. So, alright, let's get into it, shall we? Now, we did not read the short story this was based on, unfortunately. We didn't have the time. In fact, my Saturday's over here in about an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hopefully get this up in time to technically be in on Saturday, but we'll see. We get a little cameo here, if that's what you want to call it. It's a little more than a cameo, but the dude from Road Warrior is the guy he kills. And then Sloane, Ferris Bueller's girlfriend, is the girl on the plane sitting next to him. Both of them have very, very little minor parts in this. And unless I'm mistaken, I know our main antagonist guy, he does not speak a word. But I don't think anybody does, right?
No, I think
maybe
it's
like the news people
you hear
or something.
like some background noise, like words and talking, but he doesn't say anything. And I don't think anybody else says anything either. Yeah. It's a totally it's not silent, but it is dialogue less.
Yeah, it's dialogue free.
Which is cool. I actually really liked that. I thought it was a neat style to go with.
Yeah, I mean, he can scream.
Yes.
Right? He gets hurt and screams, so he can talk.
Yeah, he's not mute or anything. It's just it's a style choice.
Yeah, for some reason his character just doesn't talk.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but anyways. But, he's a hitman who's hired to kill this toy maker. And the toy maker sends his dolls after him. I said dog because my dog's in the background whining.
Yeah, as usual.
As usual. He's in a different room this time, so I'm hoping you guys can't hear him, but you probably can. He won't leave us alone. We can't do anything.
We literally can't do anything.
Yeah. I don't know what else to do. If we sit and put him in our laps, he'll just run around and then he'll jump down and he'll want our attention the whole time. There's literally nothing we can do. It's either quit the channel or have him kind of whining in the background a little bit. Well, I don't know what else to do at this point. We've tried so many different ways for months now, and it's all he does.
Yeah.
So hopefully he stops one day.
Hopefully.
Anyway. But yeah, so he, I liked his little phone bomb trick. Like, I am a bomb.
Yes.
I will be exploding in, and it gets the security guard to run out because it's going to blow the doors open. And so he runs out, and when he does, he grabs him. And of course, the phone is just a little decoy.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
I did too.
And yeah, so, okay, so typically we don't liken hitmen to serial killers, even though they technically are.
Right.
They're just not doing it for pleasure usually. They're doing it for money, right?
It's a job.
It's kind of, that's what differentiates them. That said, he keeps trophies and mementos like a serial killer.
He does.
So because he does that, would you classify him as a serial killer? And is any hitman a serial killer to you, or is there some kind of difference between the two?
I mean, I think you already said what the difference is, because it's the same way that soldiers aren't considered serial killers, but they could potentially be killing a lot of people, but it's in a different context versus a serial killer to me is somebody who is doing it for pleasure in some way. And I mean, it's bad to kill people no matter what. I don't think him being a hitman is okay. He is still technically a serial killer, and I think the fact that he takes mementos kind of does make him more of a serial killer than a hitman. like he's just getting the benefit of being paid as well.
It's also very dumb.
It's super dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, yeah, if anybody tried to look into him,
you're keeping evidence
could totally
at your
link
house.
It with,
yes.
yeah.
Like, oh,
or potentially
this is from this
link
person, this is from this person.
Right.
Like, we've caught this serial killer. Now, he flies around the world to do it, so it'd be very, very hard to link him to multiple murders because of that. And I'm sure that, like, you know, he wipes them down and makes sure that there's, like, no evidence on them, but you could link them if you wanted to. So it's not a good idea. That being said, so what if a serial killer gets a job as a hitman and is getting paid for it?
That sucks.
Is he a serial killer to you then?
I mean, yeah, I feel like he's still serial. Like the hard. I mean, it's. Yeah, like that's what he does it because he loves it, because he wants to do it.
You said a soldier, and obviously a soldier is quite different than a hitman because they're supposed to be going after guilty like not innocent people. They're going after our enemies.
Right. It's all that is the context of like it's still a job technically. Like being a soldier is still a job. It's just condoned by society. But I think that a lot of people that I mean, I don't know. I think it takes a certain type of person to like be able to kill somebody else. So I would kind of be like suspicious of the people that are doing any killing in the army anyway, because like, like I said, it takes a certain kind of person, I think, to do it. But
I don't know if I'd be suspicious.
Not of like everyone, of course. I'm not like every single person who's in the army is like a sociopath or whatever. But I do think that environment probably attracts a lot of sociopaths and people who would be good, like natural born killers type, you know, because it is like authorized and sanctioned. Like if you get put in a combat situation, like you can like hurt people. I mean, without repercussions.
I definitely think there are some people who gravitate towards the military because they have a desire to kill people and can legally get away with it.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think that number is very high.
I mean,
because I think the desire to kill people is just not a very high number in general.
I would hope so, but I mean, yeah, like if a serial killer becomes a hitman, he's still a serial killer.
Sure.
I mean, hitmen are like they're just like another version of serial killer. Maybe we should say that. They're the corporate serial killers.
There is an interesting comparison here in this because when he goes to do his killings, he wears this featureless mask, and then the toy dolls that are sent after him also possess featureless features. Right. Yeah. It's just completely blank-faced. Almost like a Michael Myers mask, but without any holes.
Yeah, they're creepy looking. Green. Really creepy.
So, you quite liked this one.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. I thought it was... I mean, I like killer toys in general. Like, I like the concept of, like, children's toys coming to life and hurting people or, you know, whatever. And especially with this, it's like, you know, it's retribution. Like, they're going after him because he killed their father. Or maybe it's the spirit of the guy he killed. Like, I don't know what's, you know, animating them necessarily. But I liked that concept, and I thought that it was, like... It definitely reminds me of Toy Soldiers, which I was, like, a really big fan of that movie as a kid. Obviously...
You mean Small Soldiers.
Sorry, yeah, I always call them Toy Soldiers.
Yeah,
Small
much
Soldiers.
Different film. Much different
I was
film.
a big fan, even though I'm misremembering the title. But there were like they looked different. Of course, they were like more G.I. Joe doll type of things.
I mean, this is more like the Army Men in Toy Story.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not the same.
Except for they don't have the base on their feet that they have to work against. They have like their feet are free to roam. Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I mean, it would be hard. Like, I like that it's difficult for him, too, that it's, you know, even though he can kill them fairly easily, they put up a pretty big fight, and, like, their guns really hurt him. They have, like, actual bombs. Like, especially at the ending when it's, like, a, what is it, scale thermonuclear like weapon.
Yeah.
All that is like really fun, and I actually thought that the commando was pretty scary. Like the scene when they're in the elevator and he's like in the panels.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at him like grimacing and growling at him. Like that was creepy. That was really creepy.
I found it interesting that he had the ability to talk if he wanted to, right? He had an ability to open his mouth, because the other soldiers, they were completely solid faces, right? And their mouths, when they were communicating with each other, they were like kind of going, mm-hmm. And I was wondering if like they were communicating through like you know, command signals, like with your hands, or if they were telepathically communicating within a vicinity of each other, or through a distance. I don't know, but they were looking at each other like they knew what each other were saying.
Yeah.
But this guy, the Rambo Commando, he could actually open his mouth and you could see into his mouth.
Yeah.
Right? So he had an orifice, and these guys did not.
Yeah, he had an orifice.
Which is interesting because he's clearly different. He's a different kind of model. If only this toy maker could have made larger scale models.
Oh my gosh!
This guy would have been dead in 10 seconds.
If they were like Barbie doll, like, or GI Joe size, like
no,
I feel
G.I.
like
Joes are small.
But GI Joes are bigger. They can be like that big.
Maybe
like
like
beefier.
different ones. Not the GI Joes I had when I was a kid.
Fine, a Barbie doll size then.
Okay.
Right, Barbie doll size, but they're men. Like those size, that size would have been cool, and that's more like small soldiers, is what I was meaning earlier.
Sure.
But I mean,
I'm saying like my size.
Oh my God, no. Chucky size?
No, full on
human
6'3" like me size. Just made of plastic, coming in with their full on automatic rifles. 200 of them.
There's so many of them.
I don't know how many there are. I think there's like,
though.
say there's like 50. And then they have like 3 or 4 helicopters.
Yeah, and they have some cars. And...
Yeah, and they have a couple Jeeps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of in my head, I was trying to figure out, that's the way we think, by the way, is in our heads. I need to clarify that it was in my head, not outside my head.
Thinking.
Yeah. But I was sitting there thinking in my head. I tried to wink there. And I don't know what happened.
That's why I laughed.
It's like I was gonna do this, but then I realized I was turning my head and I was gonna wink with this one, but then I like kind of got caught in the middle and didn't know what to do and just tried to move on. That was like a little mini stroke, I think. But he now you really had a stroke.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about the shots and like what it would feel like.
Sure.
I was trying to liken it to something in my head. I was like, what is it, like little needles? Yeah. Is that what it feels like? Like getting poked by little needles?
That's what I thought.
That would suck, man.
That would be very painful.
And I'll tell you what, if one of their like mortar shells or any of their like rockets from their rocket launchers or any of that stuff, any of those hit him, the damage it did to the doors and everything, it would have blown a limb off. And I feel like if this wasn't on TNT and it could have been allowed to be gory, it would have been pretty rad had they like, you know, shot a few of his, like maybe shot a hand off, shot an arm off, you know, put a hole through his shoulder or something that was kind of gaping, put one through his hand, you know.
Sure.
Taking his knee out.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. That would have been good. I would have preferred that because like the injuries he sustains in this, while he does get his Achilles tendon sliced by the Rambo Commando towards the end, it's you know, and he gets one across the wrist a couple times. Like he does, don't get me wrong.
Commando like cuts deep.
Yeah, he's got a machete.
Yeah.
And he's able to do some pretty good damage, but I really would have liked to have seen him get hit by like a missile. Yeah. And like blown a chunk off, or like blown like a toe or a finger or something, just rip parts of his body off.
Sure.
Because that would have just been cooler, or like an arm, a whole arm, just from the like, you know, an elbow or something. That would have been pretty rad. So I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get a little more damage to his body. We didn't even talk about maybe the creepiest doll in the whole show.
Oh, I know. The doll that's like on the back of that kid.
It's in their backpack?
Yeah, when he's like following them up an escalator at the airport or something. Dude, that doll was like seriously like one of the scariest looking dolls I feel like I've seen.
Weirdly, I had like this notion to like imitate it in my head, and I was like, "What are you gonna do? Just there's nothing to do." I was like, "Oh, he would look like this." I was like, "What? What was I even thinking?"
He was a doll, but it's just his face, like
motionless.
It's just creepy, just really creepy.
My face just turns into that doll for a second.
If we were good at like Photoshop or like
right? No, just in real life.
Just in real
life. Wait till you wake up tonight and it's next to you.
No, it's not gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, and also really cool. Little nod to Trilogy of Terror here.
Oh yeah.
On top of his glass case of mementos. So I don't know what this means.
I don't either.
I don't know if this is from one of his kills, but he does have the
Zuni fetish doll.
Yeah, from Trilogy of Terror 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I was happy to see that little guy because I like him.
Yeah.
I want one so bad.
He gets destroyed in this, though.
I know he does, but I seriously want one so bad. We've seen it a couple places before.
It's
I think
like
we saw
$500 or something.
Yeah, we saw it like at a store and then at a convention or something.
Yeah.
And, one day.
And also, his name is Jason.
Oh, yeah, his name is Jason.
And he doesn't speak.
Nope.
Just like Jason.
Just like Jason Voorhees.
Not this Jason. This Jason
Friday
talks too
the
13th. Okay, I will say this. Like, if you were one of those soldiers, he is an easy target. He's massive.
He's huge,
you couldn't miss. If you were a sharpshooter...
Really oh my god.
Well, he was running across. I mean, they miss every rocket launcher.
Okay, you're right. They do miss the rocket launchers, but I feel like all the little ones, like their guns, they're not missing. Because he gets hit a lot.
He gets hit a lot, but he definitely gets missed a good amount. And it's like, if there was a guy the size of Godzilla in front of you, it would be hard to miss. I mean, dude, literally, like, close your eyes and fire in that direction, and you're probably have a 90% chance of hitting him. So I just feel like he would have got hit a lot more.
Yeah.
And with the helicopters, he didn't just have to deal with, like, the gunfire and all that stuff, but he also had to deal with the blades.
Sure.
That being said, if the blades hit him, it would take the helicopter down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it would damage them, because from what we could see in this show, it's hard to tell, though, because with the commando, when he gets stuck in the doors, he like, for a moment is, like, holding them open like he's Mr. Strong Buff Guy.
Well, he, like,
but then it, like,
arms out.
breaks like plastic.
Yeah.
And then when he grabs one of the helicopters and he's tearing it apart, he cracks it.
Yeah.
And there's no motor inside. There's no nothing. It's just plastic cracking. So...
Well, he does that with the dolls, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, looking at them and, like...
I don't really know what to make of that. I feel like they are like kind of not fleshy, but like they're magic, obviously, but like
magic. It's the doll.
They seem to change their composition once they're dead.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So like when they're alive, they move like the real thing, like whatever, it is that they're an imitation of. But once they're dead, they just revert back to plastic.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool, because he's like, he cracks open a bunch of them, and he's like looking inside to see like if there's blood or like a motor or anything, and nothing.
Voodoo.
It's voodoo.
Hoodoo.
You do? Do what? Remind me of the babe.
So there's another scene in this that is it almost feels like an homage to Stephen King's Cat's Eye, where in that movie someone is forced to make their way around a building from the outside. They're like 50 stories up, and he this guy's like cheating on it. He's screwing some rich dude's wife, and then he comes to the place and he's like, I'll let you both go if you can make one or two. I think it's just one loop around the outside of your penthouse apartment. And he's like trying to get around, and of course they're like screwing with him while he's out there, and it's like making it impossible. But this reminded me of that when he's trying to crawl around to the outside balcony to his. And of course, because it's Stephen King, it just reminded me of it. Of course, in this, it's nowhere near as long. That's some sketchy, scary ass shit, man. What he has to do in that movie is terrifying. Like, and in this, don't get me wrong, but the other one is like so much longer, and he's outside the building for like 20 straight minutes, and it's horrifying. But you've never seen that.
I haven't. No, I actually haven't seen that movie.
I covered it on the channel, but there you go. Just wanted to compare it to that. The big guns that they have are very powerful.
Yes.
They are like little machine guns and whatnot are like kind of like little needles. But I don't feel like he could do it. They could do it in anything. But now with the commando guy, when he like walks up to his face, he's going to shoot him through the eye.
Yeah.
From what I can tell. That's a soft spot, and he would have to deal with the skull, and I feel like that might actually at least blind him, if not kill him. So it would depend. And also the commando is different from the other ones because he's very zombie-esque.
Yeah, he looks... I don't think he's supposed to be. He's just got like face paint on, like war paint.
I get that, but he acts and like kind of looks like a zombie to me.
He's just scary. He's really scary.
He's just scary. The interaction he has with the chick on the plane is just bizarre.
Well, she's
trying to flirt with him.
No, she like sees what he's texting, and she's like trying to talk to him. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't see what he's texting, but I think she does.
I thought she was just interested.
And she wants to talk to him, and he just like hands her a piece of like gum instead.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, he is very, very weird.
Yes.
But he's a very weird guy. So there you go. And then I mean, he kills the guy, kills the commando. He thinks that he's gotten the best of him, but oh nope, it was a big trap, and the commando turns into a thermonuclear freaking
scale
bomb.
size.
Now, how much of the building that blew up? It seemed like quite a bit, not like the whole building or anything, but it was a massive detonation and definitely obliterated him. Now, could he have taken the doll in that last second and thrown it up out of the elevator and survived?
I don't know.
Probably not. The blast looks too big.
Yeah.
So I think he was screwed.
I think he would have still had it, like, gotten hit by it, even if he tried to throw it. Unless
he was going up and he threw it up and out and over and down.
Yeah, maybe then.
That would be about the only. But you could. I mean, if you threw it at an angle and it went out and over and down and you were going up.
Yeah.
But it might take out your cables. Yeah, I just feel like there's pretty much at that, like, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Like, when there's a bomb like that, that's why he doesn't even try, because it's like, but he doesn't know how big the bomb's going to be, and I think that's more of where I was going with it. It's like, with every other thing in here, they're the rockets and whatnot are fairly big, but he doesn't know how big the blast's going to be, so, like, just holding it to me,
he holds it, like, to his chest.
Yeah, it's like, what? So. I don't know. It's almost like he just gives up.
Yeah,
and at that point, with how much he fought, I just thought, with that hatch open, I just felt like you're just going to take it and just toss it out as best you can and see. And more than likely it would have killed him anyway, but I don't know, because in my mind I would have been like, well, it's toy stuff. Right? Maybe the blast won't be that big. And in that second, that's what I thought instantly.
That's fair. I think
so I was been like,
Sure. He
is bleeding out. And
he gives up.
He does give up. I think at that point he just thinks like,
this is how
I'm supposed to go, yeah. So, there you go. Next up on this is Crouch End, I think. I'm like 99.9. Yep, Crouch End. So, next week we will join you to talk about that one. So, anything more to say about Battlefield?
Nope.
That love is one?
No, it's not.
Love is a battlefield. All right, guys. I'm going to go to the doctor because I just had a stroke. And I'm going to check on the dog who actually gave up, I think.
I don't know.
It makes me worried.
Yep, I'm worried.
All right, guys. Until next week.
Bye.